This is Umar for BoxNation. We're still in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, after one of the most eventful nights I can remember for a long while. Gareth, just sum it all up. Let's start with the main event. An incredible, incredible war of attrition. Two extremely high-skilled men with a lot of heart and desire.
Yeah, it was a very elite level fistic chess match. It's not resolved. It's not fully answered. The championship, that was the undisputed title, but now the championship of each other begins. I thought it was so fantastic to watch. Every second of it was gripping. Neither man ceded or yielded to the other. But for once, for me, I thought the guy with the most tenacity and aggression was the guy that I scored it for. I watched it back. First of all, I had it 8-4 to Beterbiev.
8-4 to Beterbiev?
Yeah, I did. There were about 3 or 4 swing rounds there that looked very close. I was working broadcast as well. And I did score every round as I went along. When I watched it back, I scored it 7-5 to Beterbiev. I gave the first 4 rounds to Bivol. I gave the 9th round to Bivol. And I gave 7 others to Beterbiev. I gave him 10, 11 and 12. I thought he won the last 3. And I also thought there were a couple of very close rounds that I just shaded to Beterbiev, 7 and 8. And I'll tell you why. It's either the 7th or the 9th. I think it was the 9th I gave to Bivol. Beterbiev was bullying him in there for me. He wasn't following him around. He was cutting them off the ring. He looked the more aggressive. I liked his style. And it was whose style you really enjoyed, whose style you were rewarding. I don't argue with the draw. That's a 1-round swing as far as I scored it. I don't argue with 1 round the other way to Bivol because there are 2 swing rounds there. There's people saying a lot of punches that Beterbiev was showing were landing on Bivol's gloves. But for me, Bivol's tactics, which won him the first 4 rounds, weren't winning him rounds after that very much. He wasn't, whenever he took to Beterbiev and hit him with a 3-punch combination, Beterbiev would come back and dominate him for a period in the round. Beterbiev was also very good early in the round and late in the round. It was an amazing fight. You know,
I'm very surprised those middle rounds you're giving to Beterbiev.
That's just how I saw them. I don't know if it was the 7th or it might have been the 7th or the 9th, when Bivol had maybe won the first 4. Beterbiev then came into his own. Bivol needed to come back and change the pattern of the fight. He did for a while, but I thought Beterbiev was back on him then. It's what you liked most about those fighters on the night. You can't argue with the fact that they fully tested each other. I didn't see Beterbiev hurt in that fight very much. I saw Bivol under a lot more pressure. I saw the ring generalship, not in boxing terms, but the forcing of the pace coming from Beterbiev. I know Bivol had moments, but I thought
had a lot of moments, Gareth.
But so did Beterbiev.
Really? I guess it's what you like, but I think you're the
I normally like the boxer.
You're the first person I've spoke to that actually had Beterbiev winning.
What, apart from Teddy Atlas?
Didn't speak to Teddy.
Well, I'm the first person you've spoken to. There's plenty of people out there that will see it. 2 judges saw it for Beterbiev, by the way, and 1 scored it a draw. No one has scored it a win for Bivol on the judges'
Oh yeah, because
cards.
judges always get it right, Gareth.
No, all right, easy. I picked Bivol to win.
I know you did.
I picked Bivol to win. I think Bivol's amazing, but I just found you've got to be honest with how you see it at the time, and that was how I saw it.
Eddie said it was a disgrace.
I was going to say that because he wants the rematch.
His Excellency had Bivol up by 2.
Yeah. And?
90%.
And I didn't. I had Beterbiev up by 2. He's the winner.
So how, in a rematch, how does Bivol go around beating him in your
He's got to be
opinion?
more active later in the fight. More active. Come forward more. Put pressure on Beterbiev. Be more eye-catching.
Do you think he can do that?
Yeah, definitely. He's also going to be facing a guy who's going to be coming up 40. But it's extraordinary what Beterbiev can do at the age of 39, frankly. It was an amazing fight. I don't want to take anything away from either men. I think everyone in Bivol's corner is right to fight for him and to get him the immediate rematch. It should be an immediate rematch. It should be in 5 or 6 months' time. 10 months for me is too long. But it suits Bivol because Beterbiev's going to be that bit older, a bit more taken out of him. It's the hardest fight Beterbiev has had. Maybe Gvozdyk, not Gvozdyk,
Yard?
No, I don't want to say Gvozdyk. I think it was Gvozdyk.
Gvozdyk,
gave him
yeah.
It gave him a really tough fight, and Beterbiev came into that fight late. Yard gave him a hard fight, but not as hard as this. Beterbiev's first time, 12 rounds. So it was befitting an amazing fight for the ages.
I just spoke to Dmitry Bivol and Vadim Kornilov literally 20 minutes ago. Vadim is going to file a protest on Monday.
What, against my score? Same score as the judge, initially.
He knows it's not going to be overturned, but his point was that he believes the 116-112 to Beterbiev, the judge who had that from Poland, he wants the bodies to sit him down.
Someone said he was from Chechnya, didn't they, originally?
That's what Vadim said. He wants them to sit that judge down and explain.
And go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should go and sit with him. No, at the time I'd score it, but when you look,
do you think they're in their right to file a protest?
Yeah, they should do it. I think we should have more of that in boxing anyway. I think it's really good to sit down. I'd love to sit down with people and watch it. I'd love to sit down with you and make a BoxNation podcast where we look through it and we stop it round after round and go, right, who have you scored there? And should we do it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Should we do it going forward?
Not a bad idea, actually.
We'll go there and it'll be an hour-long show and we'll go round by round and we'll say, that's why I picked him in that round. And, rightly or wrongly, but the thing is with judging, a lot of people sit at home and they're not scoring, they're watching it on the eye test, and when you add up your score back, you're sometimes surprised by your score. And you shouldn't see it as you're scoring it. You should just give round and not count it and wait till the end. Because sometimes on the eye test, you've done this, you know what happens. On the eye test of a fight, you think one guy's won it, but when you actually add your scores up, the other guy can have won it. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Boxing's weird like that. The 10-point must system is very weird like that. But I do think they're making a valid point on these very, very big fights when the world's watching. Talk Sport last night on the watch long, 550,000. The Pain game had 550,000. 670, I think they had, if you add up their Twitter feed as well that was live. It's brilliant.
Yeah, the week was a bit slow, but post-fight, it shows when you make the right fights, the big fights, and they catch fire, that the numbers are there.
It was a big fight. It grew during the week. It grew into a mainstream acceptance and knowledge.
Yeah, but the numbers post-fight have gone like electric.
Yeah, because the result was right. It was a controversial draw, a controversial win. Sorry, a controversial majority win points win for Beterbiev, where many, many people feel that Bivol was hard done by. And I get it. I do understand it, because he was the boxer in there. But they have such contrasting styles. We may see it the second time round, that there's argument over who's won and why.
Before we talk about the undercard, which was thrilling as well, just want to say...
Shocking, thrilling, dramatic, surprising.
Just want to say thank you for the bits you've done for BoxNation this week. Some of the content's been very, very good, especially with Frank and Eddie.
Only some of the content. I think we've
the rest
sailed
has been
with
mine,
everything.
so.
I think our step-in interviews have been good. I think the slide-in chair interviews have been good. I've only done one a day for you. What, the Eddie Chisora one? Is it done in your numbers or not?
No, the one with you and Eddie in the Marriott. Not the Marriott, the Hilton.
Oh, where we had a row about Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. Well, I'm right, I'm sorry.
Then the deep interview with Frank.
Oh, no, that was great fun. It's all, yes, sitting on that landing. And this is a fitting way to end as the sun goes down here at 1010 Lounge at the Marriott Diplomatic Quarter. It's been a great week, as you say, we said at the beginning of it, we're opening the Riyadh season. Boxing's opening the Riyadh season. What a great moment. Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, 53 she is. She had an ankle injury, but look how brilliant she was.
Did she?
She had she pulled an ankle injury. You know, some of you fighters out there, she got up and fought. She's a fighter, 53 years old.
Well, let's talk about Ben Whitaker. What did you think?
I thought he got a hard time by Liam Cameron. Don't disagree with the draw. He's a target for everyone else. Liam Cameron is a very tough guy on a mission, on a redemption mission. He's a very, very tough guy who had targeted Ben Whitaker, said, I'm the Beterbiev of Sheffield, didn't he, coming into it? And he gave his all, and he was giving Ben Whitaker a hard time.
Do you think he would have...
I was down by the ropes, and they were too loose, by the way, because the referee was complaining about it.
Gareth, do you think he would have beat him if that carried
Potentially. Liam Cameron might have gone on to beat Ben Whitaker in that fight, yes.
on? And what did you make of Ben Whitaker saying he
should
hurt
have
his
got up.
leg?
He should have got up. Because he didn't get up to see if he could stand. So people have been calling him a quitter. And people have had a go at him over it. He's a target. Because he's one of those guys who's put himself out there. So whatever he does now, if he'd beaten Liam Cameron up in 3 rounds, people would have gone, see, I told you, he's a massive favourite. He'd been fed that guy. If he'd lost, people would have been going, you see, he's not good enough. He couldn't keep that guy off him. You know, not a journeyman, but a European, maybe will win a world title. We don't know. Liam had 4 years lost out of his boxing life, didn't he? And he's on a mission. People were saying he didn't showboat enough last night.
Really?
You know, some people. So he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. But, you know, he left in a wheelchair last night. He arrived with the trumpets and he left in a wheelchair. It wasn't a good night for him and not a good look. I think he should have stood up. I think he should have. He obviously couldn't stand up. But because
did he look for a way out?
Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say look for a way out because that's I didn't see that. That I know people have said that, but that's not how I perceived him. He was clearly damaged. They suplexed each other over the ropes, didn't? It's not going to be nice landing like that. Could have been something went in his back that's affected his legs. It could have been, you know, you don't know. You know, boxing's a weird sport. It was a WWE moment though, it was a weird moment. He seemed to drag him over the ropes with him, which was a bit odd. Like there was a dramatic moment of doing something that he'll probably go on to regret.
Skye Nicolson, what you expected against Raven Chapman? That sort of performance?
I watched Raven Chapman all week, and I thought the confidence that she had.
Oh, were you picking Raven?
No, I picked Skye to win. When it was first announced, I saw that happened last night. That's what I perceived, genuinely, that's what I thought would happen. But the more I spoke to Raven and the more I believed in her confidence that she'd get through at some point. But for me, she never got through. I thought, I bet I was sitting ringside for that one, just in row 3. That's when I went, that was just after the Ben Whitaker fight, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because that's when the referee was complaining about the ropes. No, the ropes got tightened just before that fight, by the way. I thought she was magnificent. I think I think the way Skye Nicolson boxed in that fight, I wondered if she'd really get broken down at some point by Raven, who will come again, who's valiant, who fought to the last. I didn't give a round to Raven. I thought Skye won every single round. To be honest with you, you know, that's how I genuinely scored it. I think she beats Amanda Serrano.
Could that style be unbeatable that she has?
That style, that big shell. Once she gets into a rhythm, she's so hard to hit. She's a brilliant boxer. Her control of range and distance and knowing when to strike is phenomenal. And she's got that lefty's ability to create the angles. I thought she was brilliant last night, and I really enjoyed watching it. As I said, I was on the gantry for Talk Sport during the evening, but I went down and I was in row 3 or 4, you know, behind all the VIPs. sitting there chatting to all our mates, all the security guys and all those guys that had a lot of work to do in the end last night.
Yeah, let's not discuss that. Moving on. Chris Eubank Jr. impressed or not?
Yeah, he did what he had to do when he knocked Kamil Zeramata down in the first round. I thought...
Does he beat Conor Benn?
I think there are signs of ageing in Chris. He got caught a lot more last night that I wasn't expecting to do. Look, he put Zeramata down 4 times, got the job done. He's got the job done out here as well. He's box office, there's no doubt about it. He and Conor Benn, the two bits of flint have got together. The fire has been lit.
And Neymar.
Neymar there as well, the poker friend. He plays poker obviously with Chris, or he has played poker with Chris Eubank. Great to see Neymar there. They sold the fight. I noticed Turki Al Sheikh got well out of the way of those two head-to-head, but obviously brought them together symbolically. I think Conor Benn's got decent chances in the first 5 rounds of that fight. And he'll come and bring it. And you and I were with him on Friday, and he looks fresh. He looks well in himself. He looks strong. So yeah, he's got to get back to the UK. They've got to get around the table with the Boxing Board of Control and clear up what is 2.5 years of mess now, and just get his British licence back.
Jai Opetaia and Jack Massey.
Jai Opetaia is so clearly the number 1 in the world. He walked Massey down. I thought Massey was playing possum in the corners to begin with, but Joe Gallagher did the right thing throwing the towel in after, what was it, 6?
5 or 6.
5 or 6, it was enough. And Opetaia is a deadly silent assassin. Southpaw again. That left hand is a killer. He's a brilliant fighter. And can't wait to see him move up to heavyweight as well.
Lastly, the man who stole the show, Fabio Wardley, a vicious knockout. Can you give us an update on Fraser Clark at the moment?
Yeah, I've just been speaking to the press team. He had a minor operation here last night or today.
But he's okay.
There's an update here. He's still here in Saudi. So presumably, I understand it's a broken jaw. It might be an orbital socket that people thought was jaw. You could see that it had moved when he was stuck on the ropes. He couldn't, and he was really hurt. He was badly concussed as well when he got hit. I mean, he got wobbled to the temple early on. Then it was like 5-6 punches. Fabio's a killer, really. So I wish Fraser really well with his operation and his comeback on that. Glad he's okay. Very worried about him last night, to be honest. I think most people were. It was a horrific sight.
Yeah, it was.
See him go down, because he wasn't just hurt and knocked out. There was something wrong, and I think that was that worrying moment for everyone. I'm glad the treatment here apparently is first class. You can't get better treatment, platinum class. So I'm glad he's getting sorted out before he flies home, as we will later. Fabio Wardley, top 10, massive statement. He's in the top 10 right now. Put him against any of these. Daniel Dubois, Agit Kabayel, Filip Hrgovic is a great fight for him.
Miller.
Jarrell Miller, but I think our mate Derek Chisora is going to fight him first.
Yeah.
Potentially. Joseph Parker needs a fight. Fabio's announced himself. I wondered about his nose when he came out, but that guy has got so much dog in him. Big announcement for him, big time for him now, top 10 for me.
I agree with the names you said there, but apart from Daniel Dubois,
no, I'm saying,
I don't see Frank.
Imagine those two fighting each other though.
Oh, one day, yeah.
Amazing.
But Frank's very happy that he's signed Fabio Wardley. So.
What a story as well, Fabio. You know, you come from white collar boxing, you know, inspired by Dillian Whyte, helped by Dillian Whyte. It's an amazing story, and that's what this sport's about, and that's what our narrative is about here on BoxNation. I'm just going to sign off here just to say it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, Umar. You've grown and grown. It's been a real pleasure all week having the BoxNation banner alongside me and working with you. You know, you're an absolute professional.
And the nights at Mercury Lounge.
And the likes of Mercury Lounge has become our home from home in Upper Leia district with Abdullah. I think it was Abdulaziz.
Yes, he owns the joint.
The owner who met us. Thank you, Mercury Lounge. We'll be bringing people back, as we will to the gold market in Taiba, as we will to all the great things at Riyadh season. I'm trying to get this young fella to come out in November for the Latin American Oscar de la Hoya card, and we will clean up, baby. Boom.